Would you like to add a simple search with pagination to your Rails application? Then stick around to find out how. I'm Thomas, and this is Bear with Brain Trust Digital. We're full stack developers obsessed with learning. If you're interested in learning about full stack web development, please consider subscribing below. After watching our pagination tutorial, Aden, one of our subscribers, requested we add search and sort. I told him that's a great idea. Give me a few weeks and let me see what I can do. 6 months later, here we are. So in this subscriber requested AWS Rails tutorial, we're going to be covering how to add search to our current pagination. This relies on a Kaminari pagination, so if you haven't seen that yet, I'll link that here in the card as well as down here in the description. I want to point out that I've kept this intentionally simple. There are plenty of complex search solutions out there like Solr or ElasticSearch. This is not one of those tutorials. In an effort to show how to accomplish this feature in the simplest possible fashion so as not to get caught up in all of the details of one of those complex searches, we've just done a simple keyword search on the video titles. While Aden also requested sorting, we're going to table that for now and just attack this search component. It made more sense to break these out into separate tutorials, and I will cover sorting in the future. So with that being said, let's get into the tutorial on how to add search to your paginated application. The first thing we're going to want to do before we get started here is check out a branch for all of our new code. Get checkout -b. We're going to call this simple search. As you can see, we have our AWS app running locally. The first thing we're going to do is add our search bar into this main navigation so it'll appear on every page and allow the users to search for videos. So let's flip over to our application in Sublime Text, and then we'll navigate to that view. Under Views, Shared, nav.html.erb. I'm going to paste in the code and then we'll walk through it. Here you can see our form. We're actually going to submit this to the videos controller index action. So we're not even going to need a new route for this search. This is just a very simple search, but sometimes that's all you need. Then you can see we're submitting via the get method. You can see some bootstrap styling. We're adding deflex. Inside the form, you can see the form text field. Here again, we have some bootstrap styling as well as placeholder text or search, and a value of the instance variable term. This value will either be blank if no searches have been performed, in which case you'd see the placeholder text, or it'll be populated with the term used in the previous search. Below that, you can see our submit button, again with a few bootstrap styles, and the text of search. So let's flip over to the browser. That looks pretty good, but we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more styling really quickly. Here in App Style Sheets, we're going to create a new style sheet, call it nav.scss. We're going to go ahead and paste in our styles. Here we are keying off the search field ID, which is the ID of the div that we've wrapped our entire search element in. Next, we're adding some styles for the input and the button. We need to make sure that we import this new style sheet. So let's flip over to application.scss, import the nav style sheet, and then refresh. There you go, that looks a little bit cleaner. So that's what we're gonna go with for now. I don't wanna spend a ton of time on the styling, but I thought I could just clean that up a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is open up our videos controller and update the index action to support this new search. Under app, controllers, videos, and scroll down to the index action here. This is not the way to handle a large search. In our case, since this is just very simple, it'll work for our purposes. In the future, we may do videos covering Solr or ElasticSearch, but for now, we're just going to do a very simple search, like so. So here's one option. If the Q param is blank, then we're just going to go ahead and set the instance variable videos as we did before. Using our Kaminari pagination, we'll just call video.page and then pass in params page. If the param was set, then we're going to go ahead and set that param to the instance variable term, and we will perform a simple SQL search using where title I like, which is a case insensitive like, and then we're going to pass in our term instance variable between two percentage symbols. These two percent signs serve as wildcard symbols, so the term we pass in does not need to be at the beginning of the title. Instead, it could be in the end or the middle, surrounded by text, and we would still find it using this search. Then again, we're going to call .page params page so Kaminari can paginate our results. If we flip back over to the browser and then search for S3 and hit enter, you can now see the videos that have S3 in their title. If we clear out the search term and hit enter again, it's just going to show all of our videos. You can still paginate as always. If we search a more common term like AWS, then you can see we have multiple results and therefore 2 different pages. One quick note I wanted to point out, there's another way that you could write the code in this index action. I'm going to paste it below and we can walk through it. So in this case, instead of having an if condition checking if the param is present, we're just going to go ahead and set the term instance variable to the param's queue. The next symbol you see there, the 2 pipe characters with an equal sign, is referred to as the short circuit operator. And then we're passing in an empty string. What the short circuit operator effectively says is, if param's queue is present, then set term to that value. If not, then we're going to set it to the value on the other side of the short circuit operator, aka an empty string in our case. When passing nothing in to the search, you will get all videos. So this is effectively the same as the above commented out code. So as you can see, we go back to the homepage, search for AWS again. Now that we're using this new code, you get the exact same results. You can also paginate and get the same second page values. You're free to choose either method. Again, this is only a very, very simple search. You're not going to want to use this for complex scenarios like facets and filters. I just wanted to take a minute to present this alternative option so you could see the short circuit operator, as I don't believe I've presented that previously. Finally, we're going to make one last change to our videos index view. Here you can see we're checking if the term instance variable is present. If it is, we're going to build up a string that will be used in our header title partial. Next, we're going to catch the scenario where the user receives no results, just to populate something in the main section so that they know the page is functioning correctly. They just submitted a search that doesn't yield any results. So if we flip back over to the browser one last time and type in something that will not work and click submit, you can see we've added this search to our header title with the term as well as no results. Now if we clear all this out, hit search again, this is effectively the same as hitting the video's endpoint. Here you can see search is no longer present since there are no terms passed in, and you just get the results as you always would. And of course, you can still paginate those results using Kaminari from our previous tutorial. Now that we've confirmed everything is working as we expect, let's go ahead and push this into production. To do so, we're going to flip over to the terminal. Once we flip back over to the terminal, we can run get status to see all of our changes. Next, we can run a get add dot to stage all these changes for commit. To commit the changes, we'll run a get commit -m, and we're going to pass in a message. In this case, we're going to put add simple search. Finally, we'll push our commit and branch up to our external code repository, GitHub, with get push. At this point is when you would typically create a pull request for your teammate to review your code. In our case, pretty much as always, our teammate Bear is still sleeping, so we're going to go ahead and merge this ourselves. We'll do so by checking back out the main branch with get checkout master. Then we will merge this new branch with get merge simple -search. Finally, we will push this merge up to our main branch. If you need help with Git or GitHub, I got a tutorial covering that topic that I'll link in the card as well as the description below. Now that all of our code has been pushed up to GitHub, let's go ahead and deploy. We'll do so with bundle exec cap production deploy. Now that our code is finished deploying, let's go ahead and switch back over to our browser and then load our AWS Rails app. As you can see, the search bar has been added to the main navigation. So let's go ahead and test that out now. If we type in AWS and hit enter, you can see we're on the videos page. The code has added the search colon as well as the search term, filtered the videos to the ones that contain AWS within their title, and our pagination still works. If we remove this term and hit enter, you get all of our videos as you normally would. Pagination, of course, still functions. Clicking videos as well works the same as the empty term search. So I hope you've found this helpful, and if you did, if you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing, I would really appreciate it. Please don't forget to ask any questions or make tutorial requests in the comment section below. And with that, I'll catch you in the next AWS Rails tutorial.